Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness. I am Mark Ford, and as always, joined by my friend and my brother up in the Panhandle, Greg Smith. How you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing fantastic, Mark, I got my backdrop here, my new improved set, and just trying to have some good juju with all these moves we're making. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. It's warming up finally a little bit, and life's good. I can't complain. How about you, man? What's going on in your world?
Well, in irony, you were in Orlando, and I was up in Fort Walton there a few days ago, and we
Right.
crisscrossed, and it was
Yeah.
cold, man. Holy cow, it was freezing up there. But I did get to go up to Monroeville, Alabama, and see, Truman Capote, the ruins of his house. It's just the foundation, and then Harper Lee, and the courthouse there for everything that was To Kill a Mockingbird. It was based on Monroeville, Alabama, and Harper Lee. And as you probably know, if you watch the show, I'm really into literature and books. And then Truman Capote is my favorite author. So to be able to stand there, that's like hallowed ground for me. My favorite Capote book is short story, A Christmas Memory. It is probably the most fantastic 30 or so pages ever written. And that was based on his time there in Monroeville, Alabama, and the grass harp as well. He wrote about that. He lived in a treehouse for a few weeks with his aunt, and it's a fabulous book. So it was really cool to get to go up there. So the weather, we didn't get the beach time in, but we were able to make the drive up there to Monroeville, and it was really great.
Now, I had no idea Monroeville had all that cool literary stuff up there. It's not very far from here, and if I'd have known that, I probably would have gone and visited at some point myself. I've been up there for business a couple times, yeah, so that's cool that you got to have that experience in Monroeville, man.
Yeah,
I,
you
I
should
had
check
no
it
idea.
out. And I got a To Kill a Mockingbird with the city seal on the cover page, so that's pretty cool.
Wow, that is cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
I'm,
anytime
I'm
I,
sure.
I anytime I see that book, I pick it up. I probably got 50 copies.
Do you really? That's pretty
Yeah.
funny. It's a good book. I've read it myself. It is good. So I'm glad that you got to relax a little bit during your spring break. I know, anytime you can get a mental break from what you're doing, man, that's good for you. So, and you've got a couple months left, and then you got the summer. So just keep plugging away at it, man. Just do
Yeah,
do
thank
do
you.
what you do.
Yeah, looking forward to the summer, that's for sure.
Well, and I hear you're smashing graduation records again. So, how's it going?
Oh, yeah, we've already surpassed our course completions from last year. The numbers are astronomical and the grad numbers are
Wow.
starting to creep up. I don't know if we're going to get 45 grads, but we're up to 20. So, maybe, you never know.
The course completions, though, that's pretty impressive too. So
Yeah, two
kudos to
months
you,
to
sir.
go. We're gonna, we're gonna, like I was telling you, for people to understand, what we're doing in that room would be like winning 40 games in the season or hitting 100 home runs. I mean, it's just
Right.
astronomical to put in sports terms what's going on there. It's otherworldly.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, and props to you, man. I know your heart and soul's in it. So good that you can take a break and let's see your cards of the week. You got a little story you
Yeah.
want to tell? And
So yeah, I went to Bahia Shriners card show in Orlando, or I popped to yesterday. And as usual,
land of 4X.
yeah, I was left wanting 4X. So there was a raw 71 Thurman Munson for $400. And that's also the show where there was the $8 1981 Lou Whitaker that we referenced many shows back. So
Yes.
that's the type of things you get there. Way overpriced. There's not a lot of vintage, and you got to hunt and pack. But I had a good time. I hammered a dollar box and got like 30 cards or so out of the dollar box. But one of them that I got, and this is really great. I love Kevin Costner, and so I got the Kevin Costner rookie card there, and that was in a dollar box. And
Nice.
that's I just yeah, I like Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I'd have been all
When I
over
was
that if I was
younger,
a
before I
kid.
started falling apart, I was told I kind of looked like him, but I don't think I do anymore. But
Yeah.
that was another time. So yeah, it
Right.
was really cool to get that. And Kevin Costner, our rookie card.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is cool. So, and what, all right, go ahead. Yeah, I've always liked Kevin Costner too, especially. I mean, he started basically in Bull Durham, and that's a classic. And Field of Dreams, obviously.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely.
to have the rookie is pretty neat. So congrats, man. That's a great card.
Yeah, couldn't believe I saw that in there. That was really, really crazy. So then my cards of the week are I'm going to focus on an artist. Her name is Josee Tellier. She's from Montreal, Canada. Awesome person, lovely person. I got to know her a little bit. I sent her the stadium from The Natural. She's a big fan of The Natural, and her artwork's incredible. So she sent me a picture here that she did that I'm going to show you here in a minute. This is phenomenal. And I sent her the War Memorial Stadium where they filmed The Natural, and I've talked about that before. I was an extra in the movie, and blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah. And so I sent her the little stadium that I got way back in like 1985. And but people, if you want to see good art, so Josee Tellier is just incredible. And she has an Etsy store, and I'll put a link to her shop in the show. And but this Jackie Robinson is sensational, and that
yeah.
hangs by my bed. I look at that every morning, and that's
Wow,
Jose. Look at that. That's him in Montreal. So a lot of her artwork is based. She does hockey as well as baseball. She loves the Montreal Expos and Andre Dawson and Gary Carter and all those guys. But that, I mean, when I got that, my daughter got it
that's
framed for me. But that's beautiful. And I mean,
that's
that's
amazing.
good art. You can't put a price tag on that. I mean, that's like a one on one. But
Right.
Jose does great work and a couple other things that she's done. She sent me she does stickers as well in her Etsy shop. So that's a Hank Aaron. Those are all original art, people. So when we collect and we're all into the cardboard and what things cost. And I mean to me these things are priceless. And sometimes we need to look outside of, the shiny modern and the vintage and the tops and the this and the that and get into stuff like that. Support your local artists. That's sensational.
That's awesome.
And then one
Those are
more
very, very cool.
by Jose. I'll take it out of its out of the plastic so it doesn't shine. I love this card. She does custom cards, and I defy you to find me anything that's as brilliant and beautiful as that you can pull out of an overpriced wax pack. So for what I paid for this, it's basically like a pack of cards or a blaster box. And you
Wow.
see on the back, it's no, I think 44 out of 109. She signed it, JoJo. No, Jose, but that's Williams, little scout. She's aroused, but that's incredible, and I just love it.
That's that's amazing. That's amazing. So I might go to her Etsy shop and see what she's got. Those are very cool. And it looks, I mean, that's really, really good art. It looks just like the players. So, and I know the Jackie Montreal was his last stop before Brooklyn, wasn't it? Was that the AAA team?
Yes, it was. It was at the Royals up in Montreal, and then he went up to
Right,
Brooklyn.
right. So that was his last stop before Brooklyn, and I'm sure that was a lot of fun for her to draw, seeing that she's Canadian and
Yeah,
such an icon.
interesting. She's very really into the Negro Leagues and like her Josh. She does some Josh Gibson. It's amazing. Clemente. It just you name it, and it's just incredible. And I just think it's really great. A that she's a woman and she's involved in what's predominantly a male-oriented hobby, and
Right,
and her artwork is tremendous. And I've been trying to get her on the show for a couple of years, and I guess she's a little camera shy, and French Canadian, so maybe her English isn't always the best, but we don't care about that. But I'd love to get her
right,
on the show, and I hope that's kind of my bucket list is to get Jose on the show, and it may never happen, but I'm going to keep on banging that drum every now and then and see if I can talk her into it.
right, right. Well, yeah, I'd love to have her on, especially God, that's those pictures are really amazing. And like you said, they're unique. It's not something you can just go to Walmart and buy and for
Mm-mm.
you. Yeah, I know how much those two players mean to you, especially Hank and Jackie.
Yeah,
The Williams is cool, but the Hank and Jackie actually have a lot of symbolism
yeah,
for baseball
yeah,
history and for a lot of struggles that people went through,
absolutely.
integrated in the game.
And their things move quick. They're limited like 100 or 150. So when she does a card, when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah,
So, I urge people again, I'll put in her info and go to her Etsy store and support Jose Tellier, who I think is just absolutely amazing.
right, right. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Well, mine are kind of just oddball stuff. So I've been kind of getting into into these big cards like lately for some reason. So like these the supers.
Holy cow, that is big.
So I got they are the good ones. I mean, without I don't have strawberry or Mattingly, but I've got 84 Brett stuff like
Mhm.
that. So just some problem is storing them. So I've got to set them over here in a stack
Those would be
with my
great for autographs, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that be
right.
awesome to get them signed and put it in a frame? And those would be really great.
Yeah, I've got this giant stack of old basketball. I have no idea what I'm going to do with. So, do you? If anybody in the comments wants to leave me where you can buy sleeves and top loaders for these or these, let me know because I've got tons of them. As you can see there, now these are also pretty cool. These came out in 1980. Like, so I've got this one's kind of cool. It's a 1980 Nolan Ryan super card. So I don't know if you've ever seen those or collected those when you were little, Mark, but they're just kind of cool. You got Ryan, Steve
Mhm.
Garvey, just some pretty cool guys. Seaver. So
I think those were like sold in single packs, weren't they? Well, like there was
yeah,
one per
yeah, I think
pack.
so. If I remember correctly, I think they were. We didn't like those when I was a kid though, because you couldn't really store them, and it was hard to find a way to protect them. But again, that wasn't something we really worried about a whole lot when I was a kid either. We didn't, if you put it in a sleeve, that meant you couldn't play with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or a binder or whatever. And then this one here, you got me. He is the last man standing. It's a yellow rated
He
rookie.
is the last man standing.
Jalen Waddle's gone, which I'm okay with. Really, I mean, he's kind of like Glass Joe. He was injured. He'd fallen the football and missed 3 quarters. So it's. But this one's cool. It's a press proof, rated rookie Devon Achan. So I'm hoping they don't trade him because we're in full teardown mode right now in Miami. So
No, he's dynamite. He's, me, you talk all the time during the games. I'm watching Buffalo, and full disclosure, I probably watch almost every Miami game if they're not opposite of Buffalo. Just
right,
keep tabs on
they're
them because
on.
you like Miami, and yeah, Achan is incredible. I mean, I always text her, Greg, why don't they give that guy the ball more?
Right. Right. I agree with you. And when they do, good things happen. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's this one is one of my favorite modern cards. This yellow press proof one, and it's a rated rookie too. So has the throwback feel with the rated rookie logo. And
Yeah,
I think
I love those rated rookie cards. They're really
yeah,
cool looking.
yeah, it's very cool. I'm glad they brought that back. And then these, I don't remember, did you collect these when you were a kid? These little stickers? Do you remember seeing those
I
in
remember seeing them,
1981?
yeah. But
Yeah.
I didn't collect them. And if I had, I would have scratched them off or whatever.
Right, right. I think that's what most kids do. So when if you can find them unscratched, they're pretty cool. This one, and it's got like stars, and it's like that one's got Pete Rose and Mike Easler and Art Howe.
Mhm.
So the hitman Mike Easler, he was pretty good actually. He
Yeah,
had a
I
good
liked
pick.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Easler was good. Gary Carter, Phil Garner. Uh, you know, this one's kind of cool. This one's got Dale Murphy. Whoops, hold on.
It was cool.
Dale Murphy, Andre Dawson, and Tom Seaver on it.
And there you go. Three
Yeah, so
great players.
just cool stuff.
Is there
Just
any
old.
market for those, or do they sell a
If you can find them unscratched, I mean,
couple
they're
bucks? Or
worth a couple bucks.
yeah.
Especially like one with the Dale Murphy, the Dawson and Seaver. That's probably $3. So
Mm.
nothing crazy, but they're just kind of cool. And finding them unscratched is tough. So I got those actually at a show I was at. Oh no, actually, Richard Kavorka sold me these. I bought a few more at a show I was at recently, but these I got from Richard. So I've had these for a couple of years. So I got 5 panels, and I like them. So
Those are
anyway,
cool.
yeah. So those are my cards of the week. Nothing nearly as symbolic or as cool as your stuff, but um, yeah, I'm still blown away by that art. So yes,
Yeah.
everyone, take a look at the link when Mark puts it on there. Put it on the show page too, Mark,
Yeah, I
so
will.
people can
Definitely. I'll
look.
take some pictures and reference it as well. And I think I have in the past when I bought a few cards somewhere. But I want to see people like my daughter's an artist. And, I love art and literature, and I'm different. And just in today's world. it's so hard to find that today. And again, when I look at the stuff, it's quiet. To me,
Right.
it's there's no noise. It's quiet. Somebody put a lot of time and effort into that, and it's just absolutely freaking beautiful. I mean, the
Yeah.
stuff is it's
Show
insane,
that
man.
show that Jackie again, man. That's
Yeah.
stunning. I'm in awe of that.
I didn't know what to do with it. My daughter got it framed for me last Christmas, and man, I start crying, man, like for real.
Yeah.
'Cause I just it really set it off. So, I mean, that just absolutely look at the detail and everything on that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
incredible art, and it just that moves me. That moves my needle, man.
Yeah. As it should.
I look at every morning. I see that when I get up. Jaggy, what's going on?
Yeah. That's extremely cool. Extremely cool. So kudos to you for having it. Kudos to her for creating it. So, you know, uh so that's the feel good part of the show.
Yeah.
So you and I have some things we want to talk about, and we've been talking about for a little while. So do you want to lead it off, or do you want me to, or how do you want to go about this?
Well, I mean,
You
I got just a brief thought on an experience that I had. I was looking for a really nice Roberto Clemente just for my PC. Just I wanted to have one, and then there was a '69 Clemente in a sale, and it was I forget what it was, $25 or something like that. It was just a great price on a '69, and it was really nice, nice card, and
yeah,
so there were no claims, and I claimed it, and then the guy said, "Oh, that was sold." Well, he didn't put it was cross-posted or on another page, or maybe there's a backdoor deal or somebody DM'd them, or it's just frustrating when I don't care, whatever. People got to do what they got to do. But his messages to me were like kind of snarky, and I didn't really care for it too much,
yeah,
and just think that it just seems like there's a lot of rude and just I don't know. It's just hard to for somebody that I'm not really that into sports cards anymore. And part of the reason why is because of that climate of the noise.
right.
People are snarky. Look, if you don't know me and you haven't met me, you know me, Greg. I would never. You always put your best foot forward. You only have one chance to make a first impression. I would
Absolutely.
never be snarky or rude or I can be wild. Everybody knows that, right? I can, but when I first meet you, shake your hand, how you doing, polite, look you in the eye, respectful. I'm very quiet and reserved with people that I've never met before. And to be that way, that's your first chance. It's your only chance to make your first impression. So now I'm like, F that guy, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah, it's all right. So I'm gonna go down a road that's gonna make me sound a little bit maybe a more get off my lawn than I like to think I am.
Go for it.
Um, I do think a lot of it has to do with just how people are brought up, and how I do notice it a lot more from younger people. It seems like than people who've been around for a while. Um, just treat people like you'd want to be treated. So you've got this card up. It's this Clemente. It's first thing, put cross posted. It's just courteous for you. It's courteous for your buyers. It's courteous for people who want to do business with you. It also creates a sense of urgency. So if somebody sees something's cross posted, they might be more likely to jump before somebody on an unseen person on a different page buys it. So I don't understand the reluctance or the ignorance to not put cross posted if it's cross posted. Why would you not put it that it's in different places for sale? It can only create more like I said, more sense of urgency. And then two, if somebody misses out on it, why are you rude? I The only time I'm ever rude in DMs is if somebody's doing something stupid and they start mouthing off back to me. So, with the admin, I get that a lot. You know, I'll reach out to somebody and say, hey, you didn't do this or that. And they're like, why do I have to do that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Then I'll start to be a little bit ornery with them. But for if when you're in a sales position, which is basically what you're doing, trying to sell that Clemente for money, um, make it as easy for people to buy from me as they can. And I'm sure right now, that person, you're probably not going to really ever buy anything from
Oh
them.
no, I never will. No, I
Yeah,
just could care less. And he's all over the pages that we buy on, and I could give a crap. So
right.
I don't
Why
care
would
if
you?
it's free. So
Yeah. Why would you create a negative experience like that if you don't have to. So I mean, two words cross posted, use them. You know, if you're going to list it more than one group, tell people that. So anyway, that's my. It's a shame because that was a nice card, and you did claim it rightfully. And of course, you know, there's no real way to ever know what actually happened, but
And of
it's
course, I
just
told you as soon as I claimed it, I said, this is going to go sideways. And it did.
yeah, you did too. You totally called it. You
I
were
nailed it.
absolutely right.
I could read the tea leaves pretty good. Something was off there, and it was, but that's
Yeah,
okay. You
you
know,
really did. You claimed it perfectly, or you called it perfectly, and I was like, and I like to believe that people. I don't think he was doing anything nefarious or
mm-mm.
underhanded, but
No.
I am an eternal optimist, and sometimes in this hobby, being an optimist is hard to do. So, you know,
And
I
I've
don't
had
know.
people come at me here and there, and you see how I handle it. I'm overtly kind and calm and polite, and I don't
Right,
engage. I just do not. I do not engage. It's just not. Now, if you want to get after me in front of my face, well, that's different. But
right,
as far as
absolutely,
that type of thing goes, I'm not going to engage. And you can call me whatever, and you can say whatever. It doesn't bother me. Just move on,
yeah,
step along. Life's too short, and you never
right.
really know what people are going through. But that doesn't give you an excuse to be stupid, but it does explain why you're stupid, maybe.
Exactly. Well, I'm sorry that you had that experience, and I don't blame you for being irritated by that. It's unfortunate, and I see it all the time. And I'll tell people we have a rule in our group that we've got enough on our plate where we don't really unless it's blatant that we see it, we don't really enforce it a lot. But we have a rule that says you have to put cross posted if it's cross posted,
Mhm.
and sometimes we catch it, sometimes we don't. But I think this was in a different group than the vintage
Yeah,
fire
it was in
group.
a different group. Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
low grade, low grade vintage, buy, sell, whatever that's called. That's going down the toilet.
yeah, yeah. It really has. Well, there's just a better group. There's a better
Yeah,
group,
there's a much better group I'm not going to name because we want to keep it small. And yeah, I'm having a
right?
good time. That's way better.
So, what did you
I
get in
got
that
the I
group?
got the I got the atom bomb card in there.
It's
So
Right,
here's a good
time.
story, people. So we're talking about the vintage low grade page being the shit show now, and Greg's like, well, here, try this one, and he invites me. So go to the page, get approved, all that, and within like 5 minutes, so. One of my bucket list cards is, an atom
It's
bomb, from '85,
time.
original atom bomb, and there it is. I was like, I can't believe it. Because look at my look. I've been in this site for 5 minutes, and there's an atom bomb at an amazing price. I'm not gonna tell you what I paid for. I was like, oh my God. And it had been out for a while there. It was
yeah.
out in the
It
wild
was
for
just sitting there.
just sitting there for 3, 4 hours going, hey, I'm Atom Bomb, and this price is about a third of what it's worth. And then I got the blasted Billy too, along with
Right.
it. So I was doing backflips. I'm like, wow, this really is a great site.
Well, and that makes me feel good because the way you got kind of hosed on that
Mhm.
Clemente, at least
Yeah,
you
it's
were
the
able
same
to,
day. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And the guy
you
was
were
really
able to,
cool. We were talking about Star Wars, and it kind of had the same parallel. Getting sports cards aren't really doing it right now, so it's good. So again, the conversation, and that's what I'm about. And now I made a friend, and he watched the show, and that's what it's all about. It's trying to build like-minded people that can share commonalities.
yeah, that is very cool. I'm glad that you got that. I didn't even know that it was on there. I wouldn't have bought it, but I would have immediately pounded the table like, come run, buy this. So I'm glad that you were able to just kind of walk right into that. So that's great.
And of course, my
So
wife is just like going, "You are something else." Like,
so how
Adam
did your
Bob. How old are you?
before huh?
I
Oh
said,
yeah,
"How
how old
old
are
are
you?
you, Mark?"
Right, right. How did your Star Wars sale go last night before I get into my little rant?
Well, it was good, and it was a trial balloon. Uh, Again, watch the show. I hate W's, so the more W's in the cell, I just move on because it becomes cluttered and it's nonsense. And somebody posts something at noon, and it's like 8 o'clock at night, and you got 300 W's, and they haven't posted a card. So
Right. Which
my
happens all the time.
My philosophy on that is the better the yard sale sign, the better the garage sale sign is, the crappier the sale is. You give me something, written misspelled on a piece of cardboard nailed to the freaking pole, it's probably going to be a great sale.
Right,
So
right.
that's what I find. So the more W's I equate that with, the better the sign. The sign masks what's actually in the sale. So I don't care about W's. They pop up sales. I think I had like two watchers, and I sold through most of it. There's a lot of stuff still there, but whatever. I mean, it
Yeah,
was good. I sold a lot of stuff, and I had four watchers, and I got out of it what I'd hoped to get out of it, and everything that I got left over. That probably wasn't like my usual sellout, but that's 70%. That's fine.
yeah,
And then
yeah. That's
I kept a lot of Vaders left, so. But I've been pounding it with them, so pulled back on the Vaders for a while, and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, it seemed like I was out last night for my daughter's birthday, but it seemed like I took a look when I got back, and it seemed like it was pretty good.
yeah,
So,
it went good. A lot of
yeah,
claims. So the
good,
Star Wars stuff flew. The sports stuff did not so much, So that's
yeah,
typical. I just put it out there, just because I had some baseball cards left over from a previous sale, and I'm doing $3 Ken Griffey rookies, and giving
right,
shit away
right,
because I
eh,
don't really just move it along.
right,
So it went
absolutely. And
good. So
you,
my theory worked. W's do not matter. If you have good stuff and you have good pricing, you will sell it. And again, to me, I would rather sell to 6 to 10 people than 20 people. Just
right,
about my
absolutely,
time. And I don't have the time to be sitting there fishing through 25 different buyers and whatnot. And
yeah.
so it went good.
Well, and I think that's a really good point you make. If you have quality stuff to sell, whether it's sports, non-sports, whatever your jam is, it's gonna sell no matter how many people you have watching. Now, the only reason I do it, and I'm not looking for W's, they just seem to come to me. But when I announce a sale, I do want to give everybody a little bit of time to be ready. Like I usually do my sales now, usually 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and I don't want to just hammer it during dinner because people aren't going to be watching. So I'll give people notice. And it's not so much, I'm at the point now in that group where I don't really need W's, which may sound a little arrogant, but I'm known as you are for selling things at good prices. So I could just pop something down and people are
All
going to
right.
see it. Same with you. So that's not it for me. But what gets me is the people who will say, all right, well, if I get 10 W's, I'll go ahead and list this stuff. Have you seen that too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
More
I'm going to
so
hold
in
this sale
modern,
hostage.
but I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not super common, but that bugs me. And then, you know, segue into what I wanted to talk about a little bit too was over description of cards, desperation selling when your auction's not doing as well as you want it to. There's been some discussions in different groups about over description of cards, Blazer, Gem Mint, Pack Fresh,
Minty.
rare, huh? What
Minty.
minty, yeah, minty usually means a PSA 5 or 6.
Hmm.
Um, just it's really become kind of an epidemic where people are describing this mint pack fresh
Oh, I
gem.
got a good one. Sorry to interrupt you, but just came to
Yeah, go
me.
ahead.
This goes back to the cardboard adults. Um, if you don't buy this, I'm going to get it graded.
Right, right, exactly.
Like you got to
Yeah,
be insane not to buy this because if you don't buy it, I'm getting it graded. So come on, man.
dumb, cheap, stupid deal. Like let's there's a lot of sales speak in these sales over descriptions. The thing that blew up in the 1985 page the other day was, okay, so you've got this card that has a comp. Your auction's not doing as well as you wanted it to. So you start throwing in comps, and then people start throwing in other comps that trump your comps. So why would you ever put a comp in your sale? Because people are going to find a way to find the lowest comp. So this guy called out this dude for jumping his post, and basically it turned around on him that he shouldn't be posting comps unless you want to invite some problems. So, just there's a lot, it's rampant, and it's especially with sports cards and slabs and things, just a lot of over description, on raw cards. I really wish people would just take pictures and let them do the talking, and take good pictures, get a good camera, zoom in, you know, make sure they're in focus. Um, I don't know why it's so hard for people to do that sometimes. So yeah, yeah. And if you've got good buyers, like you said with the W's, if you've got good buyers, you don't need
I
W's.
just sent you a picture. So I sent you a picture of one of my buyers. So check it out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, look at
I'm not
that.
gonna I'm not gonna name him, but he's
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right.
He's a fantastic guy.
You see that mountain?
Yeah. Well, he loves that stuff. So I mean, I get
Right.
it. So
So,
yeah,
and then he was able to slow walk through it and not because guess what? After he slow walked through it, guess what happened? Here come the claim all crew, which I don't
right,
think I'm
right.
not a fan of the claim alls. I know there's a card seller that's probably contrary to trying to make money, but I just don't like it. So when they
I don't do it. I will say I don't do it nearly as much as I used to.
and they,
I've kind of
do
toned
you
that
really
down.
need 14 or 15 of the same card? Because, actually you're
Right.
either a glutton like that dude in Seven, gluttony. You're that
Yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're feeding your spaghetti and you're dying at the table because you're gonna get axed by
That
the
was
serial killer.
disgusting.
Right. That's what I like it. That's what I think of. Every time I see Clay Mall, I think of Seven. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say that I've never done it before, so I'm
Oh,
guilty of that, Mark. But I don't do it nearly as much as I used to, and you kind of swayed me that way too. But you're right. It kind of makes you feel, you know,
but I know the people that are some of the people that do it, they're not resellers. So what are you doing? Why do
right.
you need like? It's just then it just gets to clutter and my whole
That is
PC is in a box. So like, why do you need 20 just freaking Yodas or whatever? Why do you need 14 Ken Griffey Juniors? Or it
that
makes
is
no
kind of
sense to
weird.
me. Makes no sense because
I can
they're
yeah, I
not
can see
selling
it much more if somebody's reselling than I
them.
can if somebody's just collecting. I mean, you're like you said, do you really need 14 tops Randy Johnson rookies?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it just makes no sense.
Yeah. So I mean, you can buy the sets for you can
Mhm.
buy 14 sets for probably $100,
Yeah,
local. So I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I just wish people one would quit being so rude to people. Especially sellers. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how you treat customers. And then two, quit telling everyone that your card is the best PSA 5 you've ever seen. It's probably not.
undergraded. It's
Right.
undergraded. What were they thinking? Oh my
Yeah, there's a
God.
guy on Net 54 that every slab he posts for sale, I'll look for stuff to buy there sometimes. Every slab he posts is like the nicest one I've ever seen. His his MO is, and I felt like commenting the other night on Net 54, like, do you have any slabs that are actually the correct grade? You know what I mean? I didn't. I don't want
You
to
know
get
what I'm gonna
booted.
do? I'm gonna sell something just because I'm gonna go through my slabs and I'm gonna take a seven and I'm gonna say looks like a five.
Yeah, do it, man.
Right? It's just BSA seven, but it looks like a five. Let's
Right,
see what
right. What
happens
was the
there.
greater thinking on this one?
What was the
Yeah,
greater
that'd be
thinking? It
funny.
looks like a five. I mean, what
Well,
are
just
they?
do it on something you don't really care if you sell or
All
not, but
right, I
that would
want
be
to do
kind of
that. I
funny.
want to have some fun because like to have fun. So I'm going to take something that's like a seven or an eight and say it looks like a four.
Right. Like the
Let's buy it for
anti-sale.
$1. I
That
got
would be
some
legendary, man. An anti-sale. That'd be great.
anti-sell. Yeah.
So like I've got that like that Carlton Fisk that I have, that score Carlton Fisk. I
Hmm.
just be like, this is a BCCG 9 and it looks like a PSA 4. So yeah, that's a great idea, man.
Yeah, just
I
have
might do
some fun just to see
that.
what kind of reaction we get.
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be great.
I'll just post a link to the show and say, hey, this is for show material. Yeah.
Right. In the post description too, where you describe everything, just put like these are a bunch of slabs that were completely overgraded by PSA. So buy at your own risk. Oh,
That's
we've
it,
got. You know
man.
what we should do? We should do a joint sale. Like
All
I'll
right.
post one and then you post one,
All right. We
and
got to do that.
we'll take it over. That sounds
Because I got
great.
a bunch of slabs I'm looking to just get rid of. So
Yeah.
I might do
Yeah.
that. It's a PSA 5, looks like a 1.
That sounds like a great idea, man. Let's
Yeah.
do that in the next
We
couple
got to
weeks.
coordinate.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
Well, I
anti
don't
the
have a whole lot
anti
else.
the anti-hyperbole cell.
That'd be great. That really would be something. I bet people would talk about that for a long time. That's pretty funny. I don't have a whole lot else this morning, Mark.
All right,
It's
brother.
birthday weekend, so I'm going to go spend some time with daughter and her
Absolutely.
boyfriend.
Family first.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else you want to add? Any
No, I'm
shout outs?
good. Just
Anything?
again, everybody, thank you for being patient with us. My schedule's kind of crazy, but I love getting on here and doing what we do. And, we're growing little by little and
Yes.
getting it out there. And I'm very grateful. And to everybody that messages and, love y'all for real. And that's what it's all about. So, again, thank you, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And we will see you soon.
100%. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.